The first thing I noticed when I opened my apartment door was my old blue shirt hanging loosely on her shoulders. The second thing I noticed was the look in her eyes, the kind of look that told me something had happened, something painful enough to make a strong person forget how to pretend. She stood there trembling, wrapped in the shirt I had once worn on the hardest days of my life, and for a moment, neither of us moved. She was my neighbor, the woman who had spent months keeping everyone at a distance, and now she had come to my door with nothing but my shirt, bare feet, and tears she was desperately trying to hide. Before we continue, if you believe kindness can give someone a second chance when the world has already given up on them, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to Shadow of Kindness. Your support helps us bring more stories like this to people who still believe that one small act of compassion can change a life. Her name was Claire. I had first met her 6 months earlier when she moved into the apartment across the hall. She was always polite, always perfectly dressed, and always alone. She carried herself like someone who had learned that depending on people was dangerous. Whenever I tried to make conversation, she smiled briefly and disappeared behind her door. I never pushed her. Some wounds needed silence before they could survive the light. I only knew that she worked long hours, rarely had visitors, and sometimes sat on the stairs late at night staring at nothing. One winter evening, I heard a crash from her apartment. When I knocked, there was no answer. I knocked again and finally heard her say she was fine, even though her voice clearly wasn't. I found her sitting on the kitchen floor beside a broken glass, her hands shaking. She had received a phone call that had apparently destroyed the little control she had left. I didn't ask for details. I simply cleaned the glass, made her some tea, and left a plate of food outside her door. The next morning, the plate was gone. There was no thank you note, but somehow I knew she had needed it. Weeks passed. Small things changed between us. Sometimes she left coffee outside my door. Sometimes I found her waiting for the elevator. We never called it friendship, but slowly, it became one. Then, one Friday night, everything changed. I came home to find her apartment door open. The place was dark, cold, and strangely empty. I called her name, but there was no answer. Then I noticed a small suitcase beside the couch and a letter lying on the table. She had been planning to leave without telling anyone. I found her sitting alone at the bus station, staring at the departure board. She had lost her job that morning after months of being blamed for mistakes that weren't hers. Worse, the men she had trusted for years had emptied their shared account and disappeared, leaving her with debts, nowhere to go, and a belief that she had somehow deserved all of it. She didn't cry when she told me. That was what hurt most. She spoke like someone who had already cried every tear she had. I convinced her not to get on that bus. Not because I could solve her problems, but because I knew what it felt like to believe that disappearing was easier than starting over. I brought her back to my apartment, gave her a blanket, and told her she could stay as long as she needed. That night, the heating in my building stopped working. The temperature dropped sharply, and Claire fell asleep on the couch beneath a pile of blankets. When I woke before sunrise, I discovered that she had taken my old blue shirt from the chair because it was warmer than the thin clothes she had been wearing. But she didn't stay on the couch. She had quietly gone into the bathroom to wash her face, and when she stepped into the hallway wearing my shirt, she looked completely different. Not glamorous. Not seductive. Just vulnerable. Human. She looked like someone who had finally allowed herself to stop fighting for a few minutes. She apologized immediately, embarrassed that she had borrowed my shirt. I told her she could keep it. She looked down at the sleeves covering her